I only enjoyed 2 of the 5 books that I'm going to be talking about today. The Feast of All Saints by Anne Rice. I had faith in you, Anne Rice. I really did. But you let me down. This book takes place right before the Civil War, centering, I believe, in Louisiana, focusing on a group of people that are known as the Free People of Color. These people are descendants of African, Spanish, and French, I believe. This book starts off with one of these free people of color who went to Paris for school, became a writer, and then years later came back to his hometown to start up a school to give education back to his people that he grew up with. I thought that storyline was so promising and it was beautiful and it had so much potential, and I truly enjoyed the first third of this book, but then everything changed and just that storyline just dropped and was never to be found. The rest of this book just turned to drama, unnecessary drama that made no sense, had no real place in this book. People started sleeping with other people they shouldn't have that were out of character. People were gossiping left and right. People had fights for no reason. I just gradually became so detached from these characters and I couldn't wait to finish it. I am honestly so confused at what the point this book was trying to get across. I don't know why it is a book. What was Anne Rice trying to portray? I don't know. Previous to this, I had only read Interview with the Vampire by Miss Anne Rice, and I enjoyed that book. It wasn't anything spectacular, but I liked it, and I just had higher expectations, and I'm really sad about this book, so, you know, moving on. And then I read Lullaby by Chuck Palahniuk. I'm really happy I read this book after that disaster of a book because I really like this one. Yay! I was challenged to read this book by Adrian and Dalton over from Strip Cover Lit. You should go check them out, maybe, if you want to. I'll leave a link in the description below. This book is about a reporter who stumbles upon a poem in a book that can kill people. If you speak this poem out loud to someone, or if you think this poem directed towards someone, they will die. So it's about this reporter who essentially goes on a adventure of sorts with a couple of people to go find all of the books that are out there with this poem and destroy it. Because if people were to find out about this poem and its capabilities, mass amounts of chaos and destruction would probably follow soon after. I liked this book. I didn't love this book, but I did really like it. And previous to this, I had never read a Chuck Palahniuk book before. His writing made me feel extremely uncomfortable, and I don't mean that in a bad way because I really enjoyed his writing style. It's just that he makes you feel like you're a terrible person. I felt as if he was saying, hey Erica, you know, you could try to be a really great person as much as you want, but you're still a terrible human being. And then I thought to myself, well, if I was this main character in this book, would I have been able to control myself and not use that poem to kill people? Would I really be that strong, or would I succumb to the evilness of it, and would I kill people? Probably, if I'm being honest. So I really enjoyed the book for that. But I did not like the ending of this book. I thought it was just not satisfying to me. It just felt a little weak, and for that I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I still enjoyed it, and I'm really happy I read it, and I'm glad that I was challenged to read it. And then I read The Yoga of Max's Discontent by an author whose name I cannot pronounce. I was sent this book for review by the author. This book does not release until the 3rd of May, so I'm not really going to be talking about this book much because I have a review for it, and you should go watch it. The link will be in the description below, but I will say that I really enjoyed this book. It's basically about a guy who's just not fulfilled with his life that he's living, so he goes on a spiritual adventure of sorts. And then I read Decomposition, a music manifesto by Durkin. I hated this book so much. This is a non-fiction book about music, and I honestly thought I was going to learn things that I did not know before about music because I was very interested and I was hoping for really good things, but most of this book, the author talks about authenticity, what it is, what it isn't, what you think it is, what it's misconceived about it, yada yada yada. It was a lot of common sense stuff that I could have just thought up on my own. I didn't learn anything from this book. It was all common sense. Like I said, I was thoroughly disappointed. It was a gift from my friend and I felt obligated to push through, so I did. They know I hate this book and they don't hate me for that. They still love me, so it's okay. It's okay. Don't read this book, okay? Descent by Tim Johnston. This book is about a family that goes on a vacation to the Rocky Mountains. Soon after they are there, their daughter gets kidnapped. And then after that, it's told from the perspective of the brother, the mom, and the dad. It is also told a year later, but then has flashbacks in between. I thought I was really gonna like this book because it's supposed to be a thrilling page turner, and I love those type of books, but it wasn't that at all. This book was so boring. It almost felt like there was no story to begin with. It didn't go anywhere. I didn't feel any tension between any of the characters. I felt that everything that did happen did not contribute to any arc of the story that it had, if it had any, and it was just very, very, very disappointing. I will say though that the author's writing is really beautiful. He has a beautiful writing style going that's almost poetic and lyrical, but it just was so out of place for a story like this. So I would not recommend this book at all. Sorry, Tim Johnston. Get it together. And those are books 11 through 15 that I've read recently. I'm sad that most of these books I did not like, but I did like some of them, so whatever. If you guys have read any of these books, leave your comments down below. We can chit chat, you know what to do, all that great stuff. And I'm gonna go to bed because I'm tired.